Okay, special delivery. Got the right one in this time. Fragile. Must come from Italy. And I got the right air dryer in. And so, this is the old one I got to send back. But you can tell the difference. Huge one. I don't know any truck that would fit on. I don't know, there's not one truck out there that I can think of that has that big of a grill. But here we go. Hopefully we can get that put in today. All right, we're going to go over my numbers here in just a second. One of the things I wanted to touch on is the confirmation bias. We all do it. When I first got into trucking, I was looking for a specific thing. I wanted to know if I could make a living at that, doing that certain thing. And I sort of ignored a bunch of other stuff that later on kind of bit me in the butt. But you live and learn. But one of the things I noticed after I started my channel, and especially when I left Mercer, or I was saying, I couldn't find the loads in my area that I wanted to do, had all these people that were falling victim to this confirmation bias. And I'll show you what I mean. There's a guy out there who has a very popular YouTube channel, Mercer guy. You probably know who he is. Very good channel. I watch it myself every episode. So when I said, that I, wasn't having a good time at Mercer, people were saying, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're doing. So and so is doing great over there. He's making all this money." But apparently, they weren't watching what he was saying, because he never, not once, mentioned what he makes. Never. 500 or 600 episodes that he has, not once did he mention how much he makes. Well, I'll take that back. One time in one of his first videos. But the other thing that they're missing is, in a lot of his videos, he mentions deadheading a lot. Deadheading. 1,000-mile deadhead just the other day. He's also mentioned that he's had to wait for loads because of that company's policy. So that's the thing that you have to take into account. You can't just listen to all the good things. You have to also take into account this 1,000-mile deadhead, because I experienced that when I was at Mercer too. Depends on the area you're in, what you're doing. But with Mercer, it was either a lot of deadheading or carrying heavy and cheap freight, or trying to get to one of those good areas, because you're really limited to their one load board. Now the other thing is, I was watching another very popular channel, and I'll just go ahead and say it, Just Trucking. He's one of the the few out there who tells the truth. If he's delayed, if he's having to unload stuff himself, he shows everything out there. But again, people, they see the thing where he's making $6 a mile, and they forget about all that other stuff. So just the other day, he put out a video of a load that he got for a really good rate. And this is one of those things I say all the time. You have to be careful of those loads, because they're not usually very efficient when you get those loads for a good rate per mile. He spent 9 hours loading, and I forget how much time unloading. And at the end of the day, that $6 a mile turns into almost nothing. And like I've said before, when you do the math on these things, van versus power only, sometimes this $8 a mile van load that you get that's going, what is it? Usually they're under 100, around 100 miles, way less than 200 miles. Sometimes that's not even as efficient as getting that $2.50 mile power only load, because the thing that you're not thinking about here is how important your time is. If you spend 2 or 3 hours loading and 2 or 3 hours unloading, that whole day, even though it's only 150 miles, that whole day, one day, is gone. That whole day. More than likely, you're not going to be able to pick up another load. So yeah, you might have made, whatever that is, $800, $1,200. Is that right? I don't know. But you might have made $1,200 for that whole day. But here you pick up this load, it's making $2.50 a mile. You could go 300 miles make $700, but and you're burning more fuel than you are here. But you could pick up another load and keep on going. You might find something better. You understand what I'm saying? You have to do the math. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to do all these van loads because I can get them for $6 a mile. Just doesn't work out that way. The more complicated you make something, usually it's taking your personal time away from you. So my last week, this week, I worked 2 days. I left the house on Monday, got back on Wednesday midday. Let's see, it's right at 1,200 miles. These are approximate numbers, and I made $4,600 gross. Remember, this is power only. Now, one of the things I get asked a lot is, people wondering, can you do power only, make the same as you can a van? And I will say, on average, no, because if you've done your homework and you have your people you work with and loads that you've done before, ones that you know are efficient, usually in a van you can make that money easier. However, it only takes that one time doing a live load and live unload where, like the guy the other day, he was 30 minutes late for an appointment, so they punished him and made him wait for 9 hours. So it takes that one time to make that whole week. Of course, power only doesn't go perfectly every time, but usually it's far more efficient as far as wasting your personal time. So yeah, this week was a very good week. Normally they don't work out like that. And another question I get asked a lot is, how much on average can you get for power only? That's a truly difficult question to answer, because this is a very good rate right here. I didn't do the math, but it's close to $4 a mile. Usually when somebody asks me that, I'll say, well, my bottom line is $2, which it's not $2 now. It's more like $2.50. I won't take anything below $2.50. But when you're starting out power only and you haven't made any relationships with any agents, you might have to lower this a little bit starting out until you find your groove. And I found my groove. This is my little dedicated run that I do that I can get pretty often, but you're usually not going to find this right away. You're probably going to end up carrying a lot of empty trailers around looking for that spot, that place that you want, that gives you what you're searching for. But starting out, I would say right now I wouldn't take anything below $2.50 a mile. And over the past several months, after having my authority for as long as I haven't even had to come anywhere near this. Most of my loads have been over $3 a mile or better. So, yeah, this week only worked 2.5 days, $4,600 gross. Like I said, until you find your groove, you might not be able to get these numbers coming out of the gate. But just remember, do the math. If you want to buy an $80,000 van, because that's how much new vans run now, how long is it going to take you to pay for that van doing those van loads? You really will have to run hard all day, every day, to pay for that van in several years. I don't have that van payment. I don't have the maintenance payment. I can park in my driveway. Somebody made that comment the other day. I park right out beside the house in the driveway. If I need to do some work on my truck, it's right there. If I need to load something in my truck, it's right there. So yeah, that is convenient. But just always keep in mind that I do the same thing. It's a confirmation bias. When you're looking for something, you're kind of focused, like laser beam focused, and you're missing what's out here, the obvious things that are passing you by. So if you're looking for a lease company, just keep in mind, all the things, these people, some of these guys are doing good work and they're telling you exactly what they're doing. But all you're looking at is, man, they have a nice house, or man, they have a nice truck, but you're forgetting about they have to work 28 days out of the month to get that stuff. So